Hi, my name is Michael Flickinger and I'd like to welcome you to MakeMyOwnWebsite.com. This is actually a video created from a question that I had from one of my viewers, and they asked me, why is my website not working? Why can no one find my website? It just seems like my website doesn't even pay off. Well, he's not alone. Over 95% of the websites that are built fail. And they fail either by they're not working correctly or no one is able to find their website. And there's a few reasons why that is happening. First of all, right off the get-go, they usually have the wrong domain name. And the wrong domain name can really affect on how search engines find you. I mean, it isn't a coincidence that I have named this website the MakeMyOwnWebsite.com. Heavens, I would love to call it anything else. I would love to call it the Awesome Website Builder or any other names, but I've actually researched it and found out that that is a very good domain name to have so that I can get high rankings in search engines. And the likelihood of somebody typing in a search on that question, how do I make my own website? All those keywords are inside that domain. So very, very important. Something that's overlooked quite often is having the right domain. Another thing is the wrong web server. Recently, Google has mentioned to us in an article that websites that upload very slowly are sometimes overlooked by their web crawlers because they're constantly trying to look for new information, and if it takes too long for it to upload, then website really will rank your website lower in the search engines. So don't pay that $5.95 to be on a web server that is matched up or on top of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other websites. Spend the money on making sure you have the right web server. The other thing is most websites are not created as a search engine friendly website. Let me tell you one secret about firing your web designer. If he does not talk to you, or the first few words out of his mouth are talking to you about the keywords that your website needs to be built with. It's basically like the backbone of an automobile. The frame of an automobile is those search engine keywords. And if he doesn't find those search engine keywords right from the very beginning of what would be best for your website will never be ranked the way it should be. So if your web designer is only designing it under appearance and not how it could be created to be user-friendly or search engine-friendly, big mistake. And if he's not asking those questions to you, it's time to let your web designer go. A lot of websites are never completed. They're started but never completed. And when they're not completed, when there's buttons going to pages that don't exist, that's a big no-no to the web search engines. They see that there's error messages that come along with your website, and so they kind of feel like that person would have a bad experience if they sent them to your website, and they don't want that to happen. So if your website is not complete, if you have buttons that go nowhere, that's a good indication to Google not to rank you. A lot of people don't spend the time and money investing into a website. I mean, it is one thing just to build a website, but it needs constant attention. You know, years ago we could build a website, set it up, and let it go, and it would be just fine. But now that there's so much competition out there, not only on your website, other people competing with you, but search engines competing with each other. And the key to them winning the competition is fresh information. So if you're not providing fresh information to your website, they're not going to rank you very high. But if Google and the other search engines sees that you're constantly adding to your website, They're going to say, hey, this has got fresh content to it all the time, so we're going to give them a higher ranking. Now, another big thing is keywords. If you are not using the correct keywords for the people that you want on your website, then what is it really worth? I mean, if your website is about plumbing and people are finding you about electricity, or you'll be in electronics, but your website's about plumbing, what is that visitor really worth? He basically found the wrong website. And so we need to put the right keywords onto your website, and part of that is investigating to make sure which ones would be right for your website. And the other thing that people overlook is really how strong is their competition. Sometimes if your competition is so fiercely strong, it would take years and years and years to kick them out of their first positions. But there are other things that we can tweak and at least start getting rankings not in that specific one keyword. So really we have to look at competition and see how well they've built their website. So these are a few things that as a combination, one or two or all of them can make your website fail. So how do we fix that? And of course, as this guy asked this question to me, he said, now Mike, don't forget, I need to do this on the cheap side. And I think that's kind of how a lot of people are feeling nowadays. They want to still invest in their business. They need things to grow, but they don't want to spend a lot of money to do that because they're still kind of, testing the waters with the internet, and they're hoping that they can be a success. And that's really kind of why we've designed this website, is to be able to help people and to be able to do it at a very economical price. Because we're not building the whole website just, we're going to build it and hand it to you. We're going to give you the opportunity to do as much work as you possibly want. So basically we offer A to Z services and everything in between, and you pick and choose what you want us to do. So we do provide SEO services for domain names, and I think we charge about $50 for us to find the right domain name for you. I think that's pretty reasonable. But we also provide website templates that you're not having to pay a lot of money to have a designer build a specific look for you. I bet you can find kind of the look that you want just with the templates that we have for sale. And so instead of spending all that money in design, pick a template. They're usually a pretty reasonable price, and you'll probably be really happy with them. The other thing that these websites are built with is content management systems. And so it already has things integrated to match up with Google. They're pretty easy to edit. You're not having to know HTML code and Flash animation. A lot of that is built in place inside those templates. And of course we still have web design services, so if you need something tweaked or turned or whatever, we can provide those services, and we also provide videos to kind of help you show you the things that you need to do. And then the other thing, or I shouldn't even say thing, the most important thing is we provide SEO services so that we can help your website be found by Google. And I can't overstress this. Me as a web designer, I've had to kind of educate myself as well, is SEO, search engine optimization, is the key for having a website found. I often tell people it's one thing to build a billboard, and it could be a big, beautiful billboard on the side of a freeway, but if there's no one driving on that freeway, if no one sees that billboard, what is it really worth? Same thing, is we can build an awesome website. It can look beautiful, it can have incredible animation, but if no one's able to find your website through search engines, really what is it worth? So this is Mike Flickinger, just kind of giving a little hint on why some websites aren't working. Hope this helps you out. Stay tuned, we'll have other videos. Do appreciate your time.